blown Islamist propaganda. These are professional victim-mongering women who unfortunately have been elected to Congress, but are using every tool in the playbook of the Muslim Brotherhood of Islamists. First, they demonize the Jewish people. Second, they eradicate the Jewish nation. Their agenda, their proposed meeting, was a congressional delegation to Palestine, not even mentioning Israel. Now that Israel has called their bluff, now they are claiming victimhood. The role of victimhood in Islamism is absolutely central because they want to appear that they're under siege by their words. An oppressive superpower in the United States here, their own government, an oppressive Israel so-called. This is exactly the Islamist ideology, and it's just tripe. That's what it is. In some ways, I wish we were not giving them as much oxygen.
Well, unfortunately, this affects and could affect our international relations. And this now dovetails in to our conversation, Rabbi, about how they tar and smear people with impunity. A lot of people on the left do, and we're going to be calling them out day after day after day on this show because I'm dedicated to doing that. But they are especially immune, it seems, to criticism themselves. Yet they smear Netanyahu, say he's oppressive. I mean, Somalia isn't, but they are. Okay.
Right. I think we can look at this from two ends. Number one, the problem started when the heads of the Democratic Party didn't put these anti-Semites in place early on when they started spouting their hatred for Israel and supporting BDS, giving them the impression that it's a sort of open season for them, working on a different set of facts, if you will. Secondly, you knew Omar was lying today because if she was interested in meeting a broad spectrum of Israelis and Palestinians, that's what the Democratic and Republican group that just left Israel and met also in the Palestinian territories just did. So this was a setup from the beginning. The Israelis blew it because they said yes first and then flip-flop. But be that as it may, there's another critical issue here, and that is that the Palestinian Authority has a rule of no normalization with Israel or the Israelis. Right. If there were ever two people who could have changed that and busted through, would be the first two Muslims elected to the United States Congress. Instead, they march in lockstep with those individuals.
Oh my God,
that ideology.
Okay, that is a brilliant point because it's easy to kind of be upset and angry about their political Islamist approach to these issues, both of you. I mean, it's kind of instinctive for me. I just want to defend Israel. But you're right. They could actually be, Dr. Ahmed, they could be change agents for the good.
They could be. They could be if they were pluralist Muslims, if they knew what was in the Quran, where we recognize Jews, where we recognize the sanctity of Moses, the holiness of the Torah. But they're not. They are using Islamist tactics to invert reality. What they're seeking, they have a grotesque Holocaust envy. And just hear me out on that. Islamists envy what they see as the special mark upon the Jewish people that is the membership of genocide. It's a terrible thing that befell the Jewish people, but Islamists envy it. They want to take over and appear the most persecuted, the most victimized, the most disadvantaged, while they deny the Holocaust, while they deny the existence of Israel. This is why you are seeing this. There is nothing genuine about these politicians. I don't care whether they were Democrats or Republicans. The question is, where is the Speaker of the House? Where is the Speaker Pelosi to not just reprimand them, silence and marginalize them? That's what I'm upset about.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say there are a lot of people. Where's Schumer? Where is Chuck Schumer tonight? Okay, where is he? He got his tongue? It's ridiculous. Rabbi, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, if I can just bring up a personal example of what's happening as we speak. I'm involved with a small group of Israeli Jews, myself, and some Arabs in a modest project to create a medical center right between Bethlehem and Hebron, where about 1 million people could use the help. The only catch is that they have to treat all comers. And I've met with some very impressive senior Palestinian people in the medical field. They're all excited until they hear two things. Oh, you mean you're going to go public with this? Oh, you mean you're not just going to hand it to us in a platter and we decide who comes in? And this whole mindset, the psychology of, non-normalization, it hurts the Palestinian people more than anyone else. And guess who's leading that charge in the United States?
So, Rabbi, if I can just interject very briefly, being a part of the Technion in Israel, where I'm an honorary fellow, having raised money for Hadassah, in Israeli institutions, Muslims, Jews and Christians work together, treat patients together, the families eat together, the children are in class together in hospitals.
Along.
That is the reality of Israel that is falsely portrayed as an apartheid. So these women are operating on a false construct. They're absolutely disgracing the American political structure that we have here, whatever anyone's political affiliation is, and they're doing grave damage, not only to the U.S. and Israel, but to Muslims all over the world.
And they're carrying themselves off as victims. I got to play one thing. I'm running over, but I got to play one thing for Rabbi, okay? Rabbi Cooper, this is what one of these wonderful young women said about their relationship with the Jewish people. Watch.
I have a huge Jewish constituency.